Hello everybody, Lathander here. I'm just bringing you another quick video regarding combat mode for Guild Wars 2. Well, actually, technically it's not combat mode, it's called Immersive Combat Mode. And the key difference between this and combat mode is that it's a combination of a UI cleaner as well as the combat mode mod. So once you activate it, you'll notice that the buttons in the top right as well as the EXP and the black bar around the edge of the screen all disappear. The other thing that it's supposed to do is it's supposed to clean these up in the top right, but it doesn't appear to be working right now. I've messaged the developer on Reddit, and I'm just waiting for a response. I don't know if he's going to respond because he's not actively updating the mod anymore, so it's not being updated anymore, and it might just be a feature that's been broken with one of the more recent changes to or updates to Guild Wars 2. I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping it's just something that I've done wrong, because cleaning up that stuff in the top right will be really nice. I hate having that stuff there. It's just a clutter, it's distracting, and I don't like it. I want the ability to hide it. There are options to show or hide the crosshairs, so if you flag into combat, it'll show the crosshair. You can change it so that it shows the crosshair all the time or just in combat. I prefer it only in combat, actually, and I really like this design for the crosshair as opposed to what it was previously, what I was using with combat mode with the ring graphic. The ring graphic is very noticeable, it's very obvious, it's right there in your face. This one here, it's subtle. It's just a little crosshair. It's enough that you know where your skill's going to be landing without being blaringly, obviously beating you over the head with the fact that, hey, I'm a crosshair, pay attention to me. And in that respect, it does its job really well. Now, as with Combat Mode 1.0 and 1.1, this particular mod operates under the same restrictions. As long as it doesn't provide an advantage to one player over another, then you won't get banned for it. And I'm not worried about getting banned at all, because when you look at it, Combat Mode actually makes the game harder. All this particular mod does is it cleans up the UI. It makes it nicer to look at. It makes it a little less cluttered and distracting, and that's really not a huge advantage over other players, because you can do this. You can just minimize that stuff. It takes up a very small footprint. These buttons, they're not very obvious, as with the XP bar. I like not having it there, and I know there are probably a lot of other players out there who have the same opinion, that stuff is clutter, it's unnecessary, it doesn't need to be there, and it's nice to have the option to hide it. Setting up the mod is it's really easy. I'll have the download link, or the link to the download page, in the description below, but it's, whoops, wrong button. It's quite simply just a matter of going to the page, clicking on the Immersive Combat Mode 1.4.3 download. It'll bring up the download for it. This is the most up-to-date version, and as he said somewhere in here, he's no longer releasing updates for it. Here it is. Won't be continuing development on UI Cleaner as a separate entity, blah blah blah. It's the same with the actual mod. I think he has it on the Reddit page. I'm not playing Guild Wars. Yeah, here we go. Not playing Guild Wars too much these days, so not actively developing ICM. Feature requests are unlikely to be implemented, but I will try to fix problems that arise to the best of his ability. I messaged him earlier about the issue with the with it not hiding that top right stuff. I've played with every combination of these features here to try and get that top right stuff to hide. So hopefully he's able to help me out with that. If not, no big deal. I mean, this isn't too bad, but I'd like to hide it. So yeah, go here, download the mod, and what you're going to notice is that inside the RAR file, you'll have all of these. Now, these are everything that you're going to need. You want to unpack that, go to where you have the game installed. So you've got the gw2.exe file. and just unpack it directly in there, not in any additional folders. ICM folder is, you'll want that there, you'll want everything here in this folder, because this has all of the import files that you need. You can play around with them if you want to. I don't know what any of it means, so I'm not going to play around with any of these unless Westland responds and tells me to go into one of these files and change something. The other thing you want to do, oops, I closed it. I did. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. The other thing you want to do is have your icm.exe file, the application, set to run as administrator, because this particular file, it'll both launch the game and activate Immersive Combat Mode at the same time. So if it's not running as administrator, it's not going to be able to launch the game. You'll get an error saying that it requires escalation, and all it's saying is run it as admin. You can create a shortcut of this and pop it in your desktop. That's what I've done. And there's your Crosshair file. So if you want to import the ring graphic from Combat Mode 1.0 or 1.1, you are free to do that. Just make sure that the graphic is 32 by 32 and it's a transparent PNG. So all you have is the actual ring graphic, just like in my previous video, taking the ring graphic from Combat Mode 1.0 to 1.1. It's the same process. You just have to rename this one, bring the ring graphic over, give it this name, ICM Crosshair, and the next time you launch the mod, it should use the ring graphic instead of this particular style of Crosshair. Aside from that, if you do have any issues, just make sure that you come down here to the contact section. There's 2 posts here. This is the older post and has a lot of helpful posts regarding issues that people have been experiencing and how to fix them. For example, if you're running Windows 8, though, he has that somewhere around here, known issues. Yeah, here we are, Windows 8. You have to install DirectX Runtime manually. Yeah, it's got a lot of helpful posts there. This one as well. However, be aware that they're both archived at this point, so you won't be able to respond or comment directly on the subreddit. And so if you need to contact the developer Westland, you'll need to do it directly. There are still some posts in here that you can reply to. However, I didn't really think that it would be a good idea to reply to somebody else's post with my question. I just messaged him directly. I don't know if that's actually the best way of doing things, because I'm brand new to Reddit. I actually just created my account in order to message him and ask. But that's Immersive Combat Mode in a nutshell. That's what it does. It's a very nice addition to the game. It's a nice mod, and honestly, I think this sort of thing should be a feature of the game itself. Give players the option, give players the choice as to how they want to play the game, and what they want to display, where they want to display it. Like, if you could move this stuff around, I'm sure it'd be great. Like, you can move in Guild Wars 1. You can move and resize almost every element of the UI. In Guild Wars 2, you can't, and it's kind of, I think it's more of a detriment than anything, because it means that you can't set everything up the way that you want to. With Immersive Combat Mode, it makes it a little easier to customize things the way you want it to be, and that's something that I appreciate in my games. If on my old YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel, I actually have a video from from World of Warcraft, when I played that, of taking on Arthas in ICC, and one of the big things that that looking back at that video that I noticed is that the UI is completely custom. There's not, I don't think there's really any element of the UI that is default. Because I was able to set things up the way I wanted it, with all the numbers, the damage numbers in one area, off to the side, out of the way, so it's not cluttering up what I need to be able to see. Healing numbers in one spot, so I can see who I'm healing, how I'm healing them. Damage numbers on the other side, so I can see how much damage I'm doing, whether whether it's being blocked, whether I'm not hitting, that sort of thing. But they were in corners of the screen, so not directly in the middle. I had deadly boss mods set up towards the middle, because that's important information that you need to be able to see when it, without having to scan your eyes around the screen, because you need to be able to pay attention to the fire, stay out of the fire, that sort of thing. It's the same with Guild Wars 2, and it's actually, I'd say, more important in Guild Wars 2, because everything is a giant freaking targeting circle. If you're paying attention to one thing off in the corner of the screen, or something catches your eye, like somebody sends you a message and you see the notification in the chat window, or people are just yelling in the chat window, or anything like the holy crap, stuff like that. Way to derail my train of thought, fucker. Thank you. But anything like that, it takes away from your ability to look at the information that is the most pertinent and react to that when you need to be able to react to it. And that's in Guild Wars 2, since a lot of the game, especially if you're running Zerks or Berserkers here, is going to one-shot you if you don't get out of it in time. It's very important. At this point, I'm rambling. I've actually forgot the original point of what I was just saying. Basically, oh, hello. Oh, hi there. Is that Crosshair? I think that's who that is. Oh well. The basic point that I'm trying to get at is it's a nice feature, and try it out. Who knows? You might like it. If you use Combat Mode 1.0 and 1.1, this is definitely a good step forward. Yeah, it's easy to set up. It's easy to get rid of if you don't like it. Give it a try. Who knows? You might like it. That said, thank you everybody for watching. If you found this video informative, then feel free to rate and comment. If you want to see more in the future, give me a subscribe. If you know anybody who might find this helpful or might be looking to check out some of my other videos, feel free to share this with your friends. Spread the love. And that said, Lethander out.